Hey folks, welcome to the show. I just wanted to talk about the excellent Eggman, Darnell Nurse. Oh, I'm trying to fight these ads because I'm not sure what YouTube's opinion on some of the ads that are shown on this website are going to be. Uh, the reason I wanted to bring it up is I wanted to bring it up for a while. That I think Darnell Nurse has had an excellent season. I've mentioned it a few times in passing in my videos already, and he's been a topic of conversation by many hockey fans, especially Oilers fans. And ads, man, I'm really not sure I can have those. Maybe I might have to re-up this video if those ads keep coming up. But let me bring up a quote that Connor McDavid had earlier because I figured it's the time because Connor McDavid was asked about Darnell Nurse, and it should be noted that it's not like Connor McDavid is going to say, "Oh, Darnell sucks. He's not worth his contract. He's terrible." Obviously, Connor McDavid isn't going to harp on Darnell Nurse. Am I going to have to press X on that ad or not? No, they're not bad. Great. Anyways, I wrote down McDavid's quote. He said, quote, "He could go out and not score a goal all season and be an absolute pillar of this team. He's so solid defensively, great on the penalty kill, shuts down top lines, hard to play against. That's what he's paid to do." And watching all of the Oilers games this year, I am inclined to agree. His defensive game has been amazing this year and has been really important to the Oilers' defense becoming very good, as well as Darnell Nurse's chemistry with Cody Ceci that was quite questionable last year. I did pull up his hockey reference page right here, as you can see. I love hockey reference. I'm a little bit of in battle with their ads right now, but so far there's no sexually explicit ads. So, well, I mean, that have stayed up for a while. But anyways, I don't really want to talk about his stats too much, even though I'm a stat guy. I want to talk about just him overall watching it. I didn't want to turn this into a 2 hour long research video. I absolutely can. But there's other things I think are more important for a 2 hour long research video, like the deadline videos. But I just want to talk about Nurse and give him a lot of credit. But let's start with the contract, because that's where the point is the $9 million contract. I am going to say that in his contract year, 2020-21, that was his last year before the $9 million contract, he was worth well over $9 million. So this year right here, he had 36 points in 56 games, so very excellent offensively. He had 16 goals in 56 games. That would put him over 20 goals. He was still managed to get triple digits in both blocks and hits, and he had strong analytics while playing over 25 minutes a game. He was just excellent that year, and a lot of the numbers that I was looking at, I was kind of like, he might actually be the best defensive defenseman that year while having 16 goals in 56 games and 36 points in 56 games. If you don't recall, that is the shortened season, so that's why it was 56 games. It's not like he was injured for long. So he signs the $9 million contract, which was immediately questioned by all hockey fans, including Oilers fans, and Oilers fans are at the top of their game when it comes to questioning defensemen's contracts, and it's been a lot because of Darnell Nurse, and I think he's gotten a lot of extra hate. I don't think he's ever been as bad as people like to suggest, but has he been worth $9 million in 2021-22? No. In 2022-23? No. This year? Maybe. Part of it is because prices are going to go up, so I think as the years go by, he's going to be worth the $9 million just because defensemen are going to start getting paid more and more as the cap goes up. But I think he has been absolutely excellent this year. I should say excellent. I can't believe I missed a pun. I love dumb puns, and I can't believe I didn't put it. I'm not going to put it in the title because that would be too on the nose, which I don't always mind, but I think this is a little bit too on the nose if I titled it The Excellent Eggman. I'm not going to do that. Anyways, but even though he hasn't been worth $9 million in the last 2 years, he has still been excellent. He has been very good. There's not a long list of defensemen who can produce 35 or 43 points in those 2 years while having heavy minutes, while being a defensive player, while having triple digits in hits and blocks. He got nearly 200 in 2021-22. So even though he wasn't worth $9 million in that year, he was still amazing. And he is a do-everything defenseman. Let's scroll down. Hopefully we're not going to get bombarded by an ad that's going to get my video blocked. I tried exiting all the ads before I can get here. Exiting. There we go. Haha! Buns. His possession metrics on Hockey Reference. So his Fenwick 4 percentage and Corsi, I prefer Fenwick 4, are going to be lower because of the style he plays, and that's okay, especially when you combine it with his defensive zone start percentage. So 2020-21, that's the year where I thought he was one of the best defensemen in the league. He was 7th in Norris voting, and I think deservedly so. He was just incredible and incredible to watch. He was great both ends of the ice. He had good analytics that year while having over 25 minutes of time on ice, which is just amazing. Usually as your time on ice increases, your Fenwicks are going to be a little less impressive. But his remained very solid. But that was the last year where he started a lot in the offensive zone. Next year he was still 50.9%. Here you can follow my cursor over here. 50.9% of his starts were in the offensive zone by the next year, but he still had good analytics. And then his analytics are still above 50%. His Fenwick 4%, 50.4 last year, 50.9 this year. These are the 2 years he's had Cody Ceci as a partner. More Vinny Desharnais this year, but mostly Ceci. And I'll get into that because I think his line mates are an important part of the Darnell Nurse story as this video gets longer and longer than I anticipated. But his relative is really low. But you also have to notice his defensive zone start. Nearly 60% of his defensive zone starts, 60% of his shifts were started in the defensive zone last year, and it's still over 50% this year. And he has been awesome to watch, and that's what I'm going to get into, is that he's succeeded in my eye tests. My laptop is slow. It's not great. It's an old guy, but I got it for cheap, so I'm okay with that. I can't complain too much, but I will. Anyways, he is a do-everything defenseman. And this year, 23 points in 63 games is a little low for him. But it's okay because I think he's having his best defensive year since 2020-21. Why is that? Has he gotten better? I don't think so. I think he is just doing less. He's simplifying his game, and I think the new defensive system Woodcroft brought in really helped. The zone coverage style usually benefits bruising defensemen who like to block, which includes Darnell Nurse. But Darnell Nurse is a do-everything defenseman. If you want a goal, he can do it. Not as much. He's never had a 20-goal season, though you can count 2020-21 as a 20-goal season if you want. He can be a power play quarterback. He's not your number one choice, but he can. If you need a hit, he can hit. If you want to fight, he can fight. If you need a takeaway, he can do that. He had 41 last year. I get a ton for a defenseman. If you need a block, he'll block. He'll block 3 times. If you need a guy who needs to play 30 minutes, he can do that. He can do everything, and that's why he got $9 million, and that's why I'm okay with it. I'm not going to, I think this year maybe he's been worth, if I had to put a number and wanted to pay him for this year, I'd say minimum wage because I'd like to spend as much money as little, but he has been worth $8.5 million. And I'm not going to be nitpicky when the difference is $1 million or $500,000. I think if his offense had a slight increase, which I know he's very capable of, he would be worth $9 million. So I think the reason he got a lot of hate is, one, is he's a do-everything defenseman who does too much. He overextended himself a lot, and it's partly because of his line mates. So in his incredible year, his line mate was Ethan Bear. Not a top pairing defenseman by any means, but a very solid defenseman. A younger guy, but he was a guy that Darnell Nurse didn't need to freak out about much. Who are his defensemen since? Guys who are very well known for their mistakes. And before I name drop you, I still respect everybody I'm mentioning here because they are NHL players and I am not. They're professional hockey players and I am not. So I'm not like dissing anybody except in relative to other NHL players. And I'm going to diss his line mates, even though I've come to appreciate them. Darnell Nurse's line mate after Ethan Bear was Tyson Barrie, who had good times in Edmonton. Jokes aside, he had a good time in Edmonton, and I came to really appreciate him, even though I had to put up a lot with his defensive mistakes. And so obviously, Nurse's eye test wise, we'll stick with eye test because we went over his stats. Nurse would overextend himself to try to make up for Barry's lack of defense, and it often caused mistakes. Not everybody is Rod Langway, where they can be the Secretary of Defense and just be amazing at all times. I'm not sure if Rod Langway was because I wasn't alive when he was playing, but he is arguably the greatest defenseman of all time. So, anyways, and then after that it was Cody Ceci, another guy who has been very notable in a lot of the defensive mistakes he makes. He's not versatile on defense. He has a way he plays that he's very good at on defense, but that's about it. And once again, Nurse would have to make up for a lot of mistakes. And so this year, if I had to think about a lot of the defensive mistakes that the Oilers have made, I would pin very few of them on Darnell Nurse. Mistakes happen. I'm not going to say you have to be a perfect defenseman to earn $9 million or 12 or whatever. Mistakes happen. When you play, you're going to make a mistake. And when you play over 20 minutes a game, as Nurse does, or over 22 minutes a game, because that 2-minute difference is actually quite a bit, you're going to make mistakes. And I think he's been extremely efficient on defense. And there's been even games I mentioned, I think a month ago, where I was like, Nurse and Ceci are our best line, our best pairing, I mean. And I think both of them deserve a ton of credit for that. And I think Nurse has not gotten the credit that he deserves. I understood I don't want to say hate, but that might be an unfortunately appropriate word that has been thrown against him by some Oilers fans. But I think it's because he's earning $9 million. It's not Nurse's fault that he accepted a $9 million contract. It's Ken Holland's fault for offering that. Even though I would say it might have looked like a deal after the 2020-21 season, where it's like, hey, this defenseman might be worth $11 million. So let's go with $9 million. And it turns out maybe Nurse has been around 6 or 7, which is still very good. So at the end of the day, I am very happy that I have Darnell Nurse on my team. I really appreciate him. Have I yelled at him from behind a TV screen? Yeah, I have. Have I been frustrated with the mistakes he makes? Yeah, I have. But he is an excellent defenseman. At the end of the day, he's in the league. You and I are not, unless you are in the league. Thanks for watching. Spread around my video, how about? But you don't have to. Battery's low, but it should be fine. I'll just plug it in quickly because I can go on tangents at any time. I just don't like plugging in my laptop while I'm recording because it gets all these cords everywhere. But my point is, I think we should give more credit to Darnell Nurse. More credit to all the defensemen. I think they've all had an excellent year this year, or at least gotten better this year on the Oilers. But Darnell Nurse is not getting the credit he deserves, and we should give it to him. He has been polarizing in the past, and he's talked about how he feels like he gets blamed for everything. And yeah, I think he does get blamed for everything. And when it's not deserved, I think a lot of times he makes mistakes this year. It's been more of the team rather than him just making mistakes as a whole, if you get what I mean. But there isn't one game where I can look at, well, Darnell Nurse screwed us. I think he has been exceptionally solid. McDavid was being super nice to Darnell Nurse and saying all the things he did as a captain to come to Darnell Nurse's defense. But he could have gone further, and I would have agreed. Again, I'm not here to say Nurse is the best defenseman in the league. I'm not here to say he's the best defensive defenseman in the league, but he is an incredible defenseman that you should not sleep on. And yeah, he's going to go mistakes. And heck, there's a game in 16 minutes. He can go have one of the most brutal mistakes I've ever seen, and I would go like, dang, I just put out this video. I just recorded this video. But until that happens, he's been amazing this year. I don't know about $9 million, but if not, pretty dang close. And I hope that Oilers fans show him the love and respect that he has deserved and worked very hard for. And he is an athletic specimen at 6'4", 220 pounds. And he's got some speed on him for a guy that big. And he uses that size well. Because it's not just about having size, it's using that size. And he does. I mean, you can see the stats here. He's been over 100 hits every year except for the year where he played 2 games, in which he had 5 hits. And he's been over 100 blocks in every year except for the year where he had 44 games where he had 53 blocks, or when he played 2 games when he had none. The lowest besides those is 100 when he had 156 games. Because I've said it already. If you want anything to be done, Darnell Nurse is capable. Is he your best pick to go get a goal? No. Is he best pick to go quarterback power play? No. But he can, while being an excellent defensive defenseman. And I've said that like 3 times because I feel like I have to say it more and more because he's not getting the credit he deserves when he has been excellent this year. He has been excellent for the Eggman this year. And I like I said, I hope he gets the credit he deserves. I hope he sees this. I think that'd be pretty awesome. And I hope he knows that he's got a fan out of me. He's got a fan out of my brother, my family. And that's not to say I haven't yelled at him. There has definitely been times where I've been like, Darnell Nurse, what are you doing, you idiot? I have done that. But I'm going to forgive him because I'm an idiot. I've done idiots. You've been an idiot at times. Don't say you haven't. I know you have. But, yeah, maybe I should close that here because I keep rambling. And, yeah, I'm just going to repeat. Anyways, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you appreciate Darnell Nurse. If you're a Flames fan, you don't have to. If you're not an Oilers fan, you don't have to. But if you're an Oilers fan, I would suggest you take a closer look at watching him play. And maybe you haven't noticed him this year because that's usually a compliment for defensemen. And so, see, I'm still rambling, and I'm trying to close it. Anyways, that's it. I gotta go watch the Oilers game. Thank you so much for watching again. I've thanked you already, and I can't thank you enough, really. Please leave a like if you think I've earned it. I think I've earned it. I think this video has been very good. I think I got a lot of personality and noise out of this one. Showed more of my... I've been trying to show more personality in my videos, and I think I did. Anyways, please subscribe and turn on notifications. That means a lot to me, and I hope would be good for you too. Anyways, that's it for now. I will see you tonight or tomorrow for the review for tonight's Oilers game, which is against Washington Capitals Wednesday night. You can see the date on my bottom right because I'm not that great at editing, and that's okay. Anyways, that's it for now. I will see you when I see you.